Hi guys, what's up? It's day 11 of my dumbphone challenge using my Nokia 3210 4G, and I finished my run of nights this week. I can't believe how time flies when you're an adult working full time with a family, and it's just crazy how we're on the third day of April now. I'm pretty sure I might have skipped April 2 in between day 10 and day 11 of this vlog that no one else listens to anyway. The YouTube algorithm is not showing my videos to anyone, which is fine in a way because I'm just talking to myself at this point and I'm being 100% honest with everything that I'm saying. I'm not performing for anyone, but also it's a bit lonely, to be honest. And I don't know if anyone can relate to what I'm thinking and feeling. For those who have switched to a dumb phone, how have your thoughts changed and how has your view on the world changed in 10 days? I am accompanying my husband on a meeting that he was supposed to go to, and I opted to stay in the car because I told him I still lack sleep and I would like to take this opportunity to get some more rest. But I can't sleep in cars, and so I decided to film this gigantic, lovely tree out here. When you look at the tree trunk, you can tell that it's ancient. The cars in the parking lot are casting a shadow on the base of the trunk, and it's not doing justice to how wide the tree trunk of this tree actually is. But I can spend several minutes looking at trees. I think they're just so majestic and they bring out a sense of awe and wonder in me every time I look at them. In saying that, I haven't fully used up much of my YouTube allowance today, so I went on YouTube and scrolled through my algorithm, and at the moment it's mostly how to stretch food to make it last and how to cook on a budget and the current situation in Iran, which I don't click on very much anymore because I don't know how much of it is true and I don't know which side of the spectrum the channels are reporting from every time they frame certain things. But no matter where you stand on the political spectrum, of course, facts are facts. Regarding what was shot, what was destroyed, the direct quotes from Trump or from the Iranian government. But like I've been saying time and time again throughout this series, it doesn't change what I need to do as a normal citizen living in New Zealand, which is to tighten and tighten the belt even tighter. And more, I'm being guided in the process of learning how to preserve food and how to forage food. And I'm a long way away from developing those skills because, as it stands at the moment, I don't have the time and most especially the money to invest in the right equipment to be able to learn this new skill. What I realize now every time I go on my smartphone is that it's so hard to do nothing and just stare outside the window. I don't know about your brain, but my brain is always looking for something to do. And if it's not actively doing anything, it likes to go in the past and relive certain conversations, or it likes to go in the future, worrying about things that haven't happened yet, or things that need to be done. I don't know why we're always trying to leave the present. I don't know why our brains are like this. I also don't know whether I'm 100% correct, but as far as I'm aware, we're the only creature alive on this planet right now that refuses to stay in the present moment. And that bothers me because if life is so good, if life is such a gift, why is it our instinct to always escape from it and to do something else, to try and be somewhere else all of the time? Even with constructive hobbies like reading or writing or creating anything in particular, it's always about the mind checking out from whatever's right in front of the eyes and proceeding to do something else. Compared to most people I know, I'm already very highly introverted and I can sit for long periods at a time without talking to anyone. And I do know a lot of people in my circle that can't stand being alone. I can stand being on my own for a very long time compared to most people, but I can still feel my brain not wanting to be here in the present moment. I have a few online learning requirements at work that I need to do, but my brain doesn't register that as a very pleasant activity, so I am actively avoiding doing that. I also know that I should be watching more how to cook videos so that I can implement it as soon as we get home, but my brain doesn't want to do that because it's not registering it as a fun thing to do. And I'm obviously on my smartphone now because I'm filming this vlog. I can continue reading the text files that I have downloaded on my dumb phone, But I'm too sleepy to be actively reading anything right now. But at the same time, I also can't sleep in the car. So when I'm not doom scrolling and I'm not on my dumb phone, and if I'm not actively doing any of my hobbies right now, I am just sitting here and talking to the camera and thinking out loud. And I'm alone. I'm not with any of my family and friends. There's this deafening silence. It's just me and the void. I'm staring into the void, and the void is staring right back at me, mocking me because I don't know why I'm here. And everything that I want to do, all of my dreams, no matter how beautiful or noble they may seem, only exist because I spawned in here when I didn't ask to be here. And I don't know a lot of people in real life who tries to do what I'm doing now, just sitting in silence, doing nothing, because it's not a very comfortable or pleasant feeling. I get why people just reach out for their phones and look for something to laugh at, or to be sad about, or to be angry at. Anything but just do nothing and sit in the dark silence, which is real life. This is the world where this tree stands on. I doubt it's actively looking for something to watch or something to listen to. I don't know what the animals are thinking, with their behaviors being mostly driven by instinct. I know that my dog would eventually go on a nap when I'm not actively playing with him or taking him out on a walk, or when he's not hearing anything outside the house to bark at. And my cat would occasionally stare out the window, looking at anything that moves, especially the birds. And when he's decided that he's had enough of that, he would go on a very long nap, as cats usually do. But me, I'm staring at this tree thinking, if I'm not learning anything, if I'm not actively creating anything, if I'm not actively entertaining anyone, and there's no one around me who's looking at me at the moment and I can just be totally myself, I don't know what to do with my life, and I don't know if I should do anything with my life. And I always come back to the question of why are we here? I'm not feeling any particular strong emotion right now, so I'm not actively generating any positive or negative energy for the so-called archons or gray people to be feeding off of. Majority of the internet and social media is just one big psyop, designed to program us to feel something so that they can feed off of our energy and attention. And currently, with these quiet seconds just staring at this big gigantic tree, I'm not making any of the tech bros rich as I'm doing this. And if as a human being I didn't have to work so hard to survive and just be like this tree and wait for the rain to come, who knows, maybe I'll learn how to be content. Just sitting and staring at the window, doing nothing, thinking nothing, and feeling nothing. I saw one YouTube video during my YouTube scrolling time where the headline was, "Our imagination is the antidote to nihilism and nostalgia bait." But to me, that just sounds like we have to use our imagination in order to feel better about these lives and better about ourselves. If the real world was so beautiful, then why do we have to make things up in our head to make it seem beautiful? Why can't we just stare at something, like this tree, and get a real endorphin rush out of it? Why does our brain have to go somewhere else other than where we are now, if now is such a pleasant place to be in? And why do we always long for the good old days, even though I can clearly remember that not all of my childhood was pleasant. In fact, I found a lot of it stressful. Being in school for me was stressful most of the time. Doing homework after school was stressful. But I find myself looking back fondly at the handful of toys and projects that I used to do as a child. And a lot of my purchases back during my shopaholism days were things that I wanted as a little girl, but we couldn't afford it. And now that I had the money to afford it, I'd buy those things for myself. So the nostalgia bait is strong. What's the reason why our brains were programmed to view our past in slightly rosier glasses compared to the time when we were actually in that moment and we weren't feeling that good about it all of the time? I don't know the answer to that one. But according to that video that I watched on YouTube, we have to use our imagination in order to avoid the trap of nostalgia bait. How is making stuff up in our mind morally superior or any better to indulging in nostalgia when you use your imagination for both of them anyway? So that doesn't make much sense to me. At the end of the day, it all comes down to our individual perceptions, I guess. But you can't be too real and you can't be too objective. One of my middle school teachers once said to my classmate who kept on asking what math was for, said, if you keep questioning what things are for, you're never going to be happy. So by that logic, does it mean that the happiest people are those who rarely question anything and just find the humor in everything? But what if you were someone like me who wasn't born with the average amount of what one would call a healthy sense of humor? What are we even doing here? Even if I look like I'm a functional adult on the surface and from the outside and in the eyes of society, I can't shake off the nagging feeling that I'm out of place in this society and in this world and that I don't belong here. And rightly so, I might just need to use my imagination in order to escape when physically escaping is impossible, irresponsible, and impractical. So this is day 11 of my dumbphone challenge and trying to break the habit of doom scrolling. I'm happy that I'm not doom scrolling now and making the tech bros any richer than they already are by being online in this moment in time. But it's forcing me to face the deafening silence of real life. Once the people have gone home, once the conversations have stopped, and all we're left with is ourselves. Life doesn't make any more sense to me now than it does when I'm watching all of these things that the algorithm is making me care about. Do you have any thoughts on this? With that, this is day 11 of my challenge. Probably I'll continue this series for 11 days more. More for myself at the moment than for anyone else because no one else is watching my videos except me. It's both freeing and deafening at the same time. I don't feel sorry for myself because I'm not an attention seeker, but I wish that the void talked back somehow. Oh wait, actually maybe I can plug these thoughts into AI because AI would be such a great conversationalist if it didn't validate me each and every single time and just reinforce my belief and force me into a dangerous rabbit hole or echo chamber of my own thoughts. I'm just wondering what one real person who understands what I'm feeling thinks about these things. So yeah, this is your old soul in the system, and I'm signing out for now.